Welcome back to Life Coaching with Alex Urbina, right here in your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Today we're talking about friends versus acquaintances. I have Andrew Delgado, my board op, in studio with me, and we're chatting, kind of just, talking about different scenarios to find out how do you distinguish a friend versus an acquaintance. There's another meaning that I just really fell in love with when we talk about friends, and it's a friend becomes involved in many layers of your life. And, if you're unconscious, you're not really looking at the possibility that, one, there are many layers in your life. It's just life is life, and you're not really kind of thinking that there's an interpersonal connection, there's vulnerability, there's intimacy, there's bringing my walls down. Am I trusting you? Am I not trusting you? You're not really thinking like that. You're just kind of just on automatic pilot, and you're just living your life like black and white. You're not really looking at something that's multidimensional. Before we went on a break, I kind of had you in the hot spot for the last segment or two, and just throwing out different scenarios to find out from you, Andrew, are these people an acquaintance or are they a friend? And this is all from your own. It's all your own perception, right?
You got a good one?
Yeah. The one I wanted to save was, someone who's always on your side, who never disagrees with you, never, argues about your opinion or has, a disagreement with you, who's always complying and who kind of thinks exactly the way you do. Is that a friend or an acquaintance?
That can be both, and it also can be harmful to you as well. So a friend first, taking the friend side, I'll take, both sides. Friend side, that's great. You have something in common with somebody and the same interest. You guys can, talk about the same stuff, get the same jokes, see things, from the same side. But it could also hurt you in where it's just a yes man. Like you say something and yes, of course you're right.
But some people are out there right now kind of shaking their head saying, yeah, that's a friend. I want a yes man. I want to surround myself around people that are just going to always agree with me. And every time that, I get my feelings hurt, or my husband or my girlfriend or whoever, hurts my feelings, I want to turn to my circle of friends, and have some wine and then, kind of vent. I want them all to agree with me. I want them all to say, yeah, it was his fault or it was her fault. And, I feel bad for you and that they shouldn't have done that. We want to have people pat us on the back and say that it wasn't me. I want to be agreed upon.
And that's great in most circumstances, but sometimes you're wrong. And, or you take a stance, or you just need to see it from somebody else's perspective. If you hang around with people that always have the same and always agree with you, you're never going to really grow or understand how somebody else might see it. And that could be, like I said, harmful to you.
I agree with you 100%. For me, my inner circle friends have permission to call me on my, we'll call it stuff, right?
Yeah.
When you don't have to agree with me all the time. In fact, I don't want you to agree with me. I want to be able to get into discussions where you have your own opinion and we're both freed up to be able to share our opinions. And neither one of us is right, but we're able to share with each other and have our own opinions, and that's the honor of having that relationship.
And I think that's where like the meat and the potatoes of a relationship or a friendship is. You have your view, I have my view, but we come together and we can see each other's view, and then we'll just grow, and then we'll be okay with it.
I like that. That's nice. Where'd you hear that? Did you read that in a bumper sticker?
Just thought about it.
All right, you're coming up with some.
I'm sorry, this show's growing on me.
You're coming up with some good stuff there. Yeah, but for me, my friends, I don't want to be patted on the back. I don't want to be, liked or get the approval. If you see something where I'm out of line, I want you to call me on it. In fact, you have permission to call me on it and say, hey, you know what? Maybe you were out of line back there, or maybe you were showing up like that. The greatest scenario is when, you have somebody that's coming to you that's complaining and saying, you know what, my husband's saying that I'm not being there for them, that I'm being, pessimistic. And, they're just going on about it. And, the common response from a good friend would be like, well, are you?
Right. Like, are you?
Yeah. Are you being pessimistic? Are you raining on their parade? Are you being, somebody that's, popping the air out of their bubble? Right. And then normally you'd have that person look at you and go, hey, whose side are you on? Well, yeah. I'm on your side, but I can't sit here and let you think that at times you're not being like that because you've been like that with me.
That works, and then that's a really good friend right there. And the acquaintance side, would be, oh no, you're not that way. Oh no way, you never show up to me like that. And oh, they're wrong or whoever's wrong. You're right. You're an optimist. You're not a pessimist. No.
Right. So the acquaintance would appear to be somebody that's always on your side. You never do anything wrong. Always giving you the approval, the payoffs that I like to call it. And what are the payoffs? You know what the payoffs are?
No, what's that?
Attention, pity, sympathy, approval. Most of the times we turn to our either friends or our acquaintances to get that payoff. And you got to decide who are you getting the payoff from. For me, my real friends, I don't turn to them to get payoffs because my friends won't give me payoffs. My real friends will look at me and go, I don't know, man, you're a little bit out there on that one, or you're out of line. So those are my real good friends. Now, the acquaintances that want to be liked by me, that want the approval, if I was addicted to getting the payoff and the goodie, I can easily have my pity committee all set up. I can have 50 of them. I call up and get on a conference call and whine and complain and being the victim, and they would all be on my side going, yeah, you're right. The other person was wrong. And I would just get filled up with that. But that's not, that doesn't serve me in my growth.
No, I see that as fake growth.
Why do I want that? Yeah.
That's almost a fake growth. You think you're building yourself up, but you're really not because you're not learning anything from it.
All right, here's another one. Someone who talks negatively about you to others when you're not there.
That is anything but a friend. That is not even an acquaintance. That's why would they do that?
So neither one.
Neither one.
So you don't even see them as you don't even see them as acquaintance if they're talking behind your back.
No. Why? Why would I?
All right. Same scenario, but they're talking about you to other people while you're standing there.
Well, it depends on what they're saying.
It depends on context, right?
Yeah, it depends.
Because you have some of your good friends that you guys are all in the inner circle, and one of your friends could put you on blast with your other friends,
right?
And it's kind of like a playful thing you guys do with each other.
Yeah, well, we call each other about on their stuff, and just razz each other, really. But we're kind of growing from it. But it depends, on context as well.
Okay, all right. Someone who invites you to a party.
Just come to my party.
Yeah, just come to my.
See, that's also. I'm thinking. I'm analyzing this question. Is it a party where there's going to be 50 people there or 500?
All right, let me throw two scenarios out there. The same ones. One that invites you to a party, and the other person invites you to a party and says, "Well, when you come, bring some chairs with you from your home."
I would say that as a. I don't know. See, I would. My first thought was that's a friend. But then they need something from you. That's why they are inviting you to the party.
So you're kind of from the pessimistic side and the optimistic side. Yeah. The glass is half empty or half full. So you're trying to analyze, wait a minute. Am I being played here?
Am I coming to the party just because I have chairs?
Right. So one of your inner circle friends, the ones that it's like the one that comes into your house and goes to the fridge and grabs something to drink if they're thirsty and they don't need to be asked. If they told you, hey, I'm having a party and come, bring your DJ equipment or something.
Oh yeah, without
it's just validating that they're a great friend. All right, stay tuned for more. Listen to Live Coaching with Alex Urbina right here in your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. And welcome back to Live Coaching with Alex Urbina right here in your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. We're opening up possibilities for you to help you reach your full potential. For the last 45 minutes, we've been talking about friends versus acquaintances. And really, we're just having a discussion, kind of analyzing our own perspectives of what friends mean to us, you and me, Andrew, and what's an acquaintance, and really just, looking at it from a conscious place. And I'm learning a lot from you, and I'm sure you're learning a lot from the conversation, right? We're just kind of looking at that. And I've kind of had you on the hot seat talking about different scenarios. Let's finish that up for the next 4 or 5 minutes. All right. And the next scenario I have is someone who criticizes you for being flawed.
So looking at your flaws and saying you're a bad person because of them?
Yeah, someone's just kind of, looking at some of your flaws and they're criticizing you, just constantly criticizing you.
Well, again, context, because a good friend could say, hey, you're coming out this way. You might not have noticed it, but, you have this.
So does it depend?
It could be, it
does it depend on the delivery, the way they deliver it to you, the way they say it, how they communicate it?
Yeah, if they're saying it from a mean place or just, I don't want to deal with you because of this or something like that, then yeah.
All right, so you're saying a good friend could criticize you on some of the flaws.
A good friend should criticize you or bring it up to you in a great manner.
This also kind of defines or opens up the possibility of the distinction between criticism and feedback. My understanding of feedback is somebody that can give you an objective point of view of some things that they're telling you of what they see, like an observation. Criticism is more like judgment. So which one is it? Which one do you realize that a good friend comes from? Being criticizing you or giving you honest feedback?
Honest feedback. If they say this is how you're coming across to me and to other people, and then let you deal with it, and then criticism, I don't know, because to me it's really hard to define. I can't right now. I can't see the difference between both of them.
Okay, at least you're open to the possibility. How about someone who constantly discourages you from doing the things that you're passionate about? Like, maybe, you shouldn't do that. They're just really pessimistic about every decision you want to make, that in your gut is telling you go for it. Like, your intuition is like, man, you should be doing this. And every time you share that with them, they're just Debbie Downers. They're like, I don't think you should do that. And every time you go with something else that you're excited about, they're just always telling you shouldn't do it.
Right, that's an acquaintance. If they don't believe in you.
So what is a friend? How does a friend sound?
It could also be a friend can take that side, but say, hey, this right here might not be realistic, but you can get what are steps for to be realistic.
All right, so you're saying
set out goals.
So you're saying a friend would at least engage in a conversation with trying to find a solution for you to create that experience for yourself.
Right, just to get what you need from them to win, rather than saying don't even play the game at all.
All right, what about someone who forgives you when you acknowledge you made or make mistakes?
Sorry, say that again.
Somebody who forgives you when you acknowledge that you've made a mistake or that you make mistakes.
That's a friend.
That's a friend
right there.
Someone who forgives you for that.
Yeah, it's a solid friend saying, hey, you made mistakes. It's okay, now what?
What about when you don't acknowledge it? Someone that's already forgiven you for what you said or what you did before you even can acknowledge it or even say it out loud.
Right, that's an acquaintance. Like, that's pretty much judging you, saying, oh, you messed up. I'm not going to,
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so for somebody that has taken offense to something you did, whether you acknowledge it or not, that they've already forgiven you. What about, Can you have a good friend that you said something, you've hurt your good friend, but you don't know you've hurt them because they're not going to say it out loud, but they've already forgiven you for it, so that they can be freed up from it.
Give me a scenario of something like that.
Well, you said something out loud, and your good friend was standing there, and he took offense to it. And when he walked away to go to the car to get his keys, he went through a mental process where he's like, he hurt my feelings by saying that, but I forgive him because he's my good friend. And he comes back, and he's hanging around. But you never knew that process went on.
Right. I would say that's an acquaintance, but a good friend would say, maybe not right there in that context, but sometime during the night or the next day, like bring you aside and say, hey, and bring it up like whatever you said hurt my feelings. I don't know if you were there, because I'm like, I didn't know I was aware. Oh, I'm sorry.
So you're saying you want your, to qualify a good friend, you want those good friends to be able to come up to you and share that, not have withholdings. Not hold on to stuff to stack up later on and then blow up into an argument and you not even know why they're upset.
Right, like why are you upset? Because if I don't know that I'm upsetting you, or it doesn't clear, then I'm gonna keep doing it and it's gonna be upsetting.
Now, when we're talking about friends and acquaintances, I want you to realize that it's okay to have both. You can have acquaintances. It
doesn't mean that.
I think life's not all about trying to make everybody your friend. Or being an acquaintance isn't a bad thing. We need acquaintances to have balance. We need the friends and we need the acquaintances. It's part of the whole game. It's part of the whole process, and it's okay to have acquaintances. You need them to have balance to really appreciate what your friends are like too, right? Don't we need to have both to kind of really appreciate?
Exactly, just like you have to have sad times to enjoy the happy times.
Nice. Where'd you hear that at?
Again, this show's growing on me.
Yeah, we need to have, it's like the yin and the yang. You need to have hot to appreciate cold. We need to have the bad times to appreciate the good times. Acquaintances balance out our friends, and our friends balance out our acquaintances. And that's really what this is about. I want to thank you guys for listening in. Anytime you want to send me a message, you can always send me an email to leadership@hometownstation.com. If you're looking for a coach, you want to take yourself to the next level, don't be afraid to reach out to me at Alex at alexurbina.com. We're here every Monday from 1 to 2 p.m. Thanks for joining us on Live Coaching with Alex Urbina right here in your hometown station, AM 1220, KHTS.